Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/idontworkherelady. So sit back, relax and enjoy some Reddit stories. Teenagers really don't work there. This story is not mine but my wife's. It happened many years ago. She was 15 years old and on a school trip to Germany to practice language skills. There were probably about 30 girls on the trip. They were staying somewhere in the city, but not right in the center though. My wife-to-be, this was 3 years before I met her, and a friend went out in the early evening and took a bus to see some sight. They weren't planning to be out for long. They decided to get the bus back, and this is where it all went wrong. They waited for the bus on the wrong side of the road. The bus arrived, they boarded it, and took some time to realize that they were going in the opposite direction to where they wanted to go. In panic, they got off the bus as soon as they could. They were now in the middle of nowhere, with no clear idea of where to go. They were panicking, or they'd have just got a bus back. They asked a passerby for help, but their German wasn't good enough to make them understood. They just got a shake of the head. They repeated this several times. Ask, communication failure, shake of head. They were relieved when a police car pulled up. They were less relieved when they were taken straight to the police station. An interpreter explained that they had been picked up for soliciting. They appeared to be approaching a possible punter offering services for being rebuffed with a shake of the head. However, their story was believed and they got a ride back to where they were staying. They really didn't work there. Well, I guess that's one way to motivate you to learn the language a bit better. Your milk is definitely not my problem. So this took place 3 years ago in the Netherlands when I was on an errand for my mum near the Albert Heijn, a Dutch grocery store. I was 13 at the time, and even though I was Dutch, I wasn't really that tall yet. So I was standing just outside the store double checking if I brought enough cash according to my grocery list, when this English speaking lady came rushing over to me. I could immediately tell she was American, but since I didn't know of Reddit yet, I sadly couldn't identify the Karen details in time. Remember, I am a 13-year-old tiny pole of a boy in the Netherlands. I don't know why she thought I could speak perfect English, but she immediately started spouting out some lines about milk in an angryish tone, which I didn't appreciate. Now, I know many people here say they aren't good with confrontation, but I have ADHD and it has basically become part of my life at this point. I wasn't about to just receive incoherent yelling from some old hag in the middle of the street, so I just rudely shouted, "Hey, could you slow down a bit, miss?" This Karen was clearly offended, but at least I was able to understand her from this point on. This was the conversation. "How dare you speak to me like that? Are all kids in Holland so rude?" "Well, not really, but you were kinda shouting at me. Could you tell me what's wrong?" "Oh, so now you will do your dang job. Listen up, boy. I'm gonna ask you one more time to carry my milk for me." Milk? What? I really don't understand. I don't think you know me. I meant I think you have the wrong person by that. "Well, of course not. Are you stupid? Is this why they positioned you outside for scouting instead of doing actual work?" "I'm not sure what you mean, lady, but I'm losing my pay." "I told you not to talk back. Now come here and carry this." She dragged me by the arm to her car. At this point, I could see the prophesized milk she was talking about. It was about 5 boxes of like 12 cartons at a time, which would never fit into her little rental car. "Hey, don't touch me." "You disrespectful brat, how dare you shout at me?" At this point, people started gathering since cars didn't really pass by often and you could clearly hear the shouting match. A random man who will be called DP got out of the crowd to confront Karen, and this conversation followed. Mevrouw, is dit uw kind? Ma'am, is this your child? What? Speak English or leave, I'm busy. My apologies, but this child doesn't really resemble you. Why are you shouting at him? He works here and he's slacking off. I finally realized the misunderstanding and was about to unleash a verbal can of whoop-butt on this entitled person when DP spoke up within 0.1 seconds. Miss, this child is clearly under the work age and has no uniform on. Please let go of him. What uniform? This kid was checking some list for the store goods. Yeah, that was a freaking shopping list. Now let me go before I bite your wrinkles off. I was a brat. People already started angrily confronting Karen and she immediately let go. DP went to go get an actual employee and Karen got some help after being forced to apologize to my smug-looking butt. To this day, I don't understand why she thought Dutch employees stand outside the store for scouting with some goods list or whatever, but I guess I got away with it before being accused of stealing her milk or something. So this was an American woman in a different country demanding they speak English. What? I don't know, just move your car. So this is one for the books. I was contracted out by the airport for this job that is done by one, if not multiple contractors. So the deal is, I do not work for the airport. My main task is to get concrete trucks into the work zone, which is funny enough beside if not on the property of the airport. Traffic does go through there, but I don't manage them. I was helping trucks delivering 6,000 pounds of concrete. That's it. There is a parking lot on the airport property as well as a SkyTrain metro line. I do not work for either company. Yet it amazes me how many people think I work for the airport. Part 1. After seeing a truck pulling up to the entrance of my site, I see a Karen pull up in a BMW to the left side of the entrance. Now I'm in the middle of the lane. I don't answer questions that I don't know, so I just say, I don't know, and move on. She comes up and asks, "Excuse me, but could you..." She yells the last part because the truck is pulling in now and it's loud. I can't hear her. "Could you tell me how to get to the arrivals bay? I'm picking somebody up." There is a sign directly overhead that says this stuff and where to go. "Sorry lady, I'm not directing traffic today." "Yes you are, don't lie to me." Me, annoyed. "Lady, my main focus is the trucks, not you. If you can't read the signs above your head, then I can't help you." And went back to work. She screamed for about another second before hearing a honking behind her to move. She sped off after that. Part 2. After seeing a Porsche SUV with a blown tire and an idiot driving it, I was again getting another truck in when another family drove up asking another stupid question. "Excuse me, but do you know where the car return place is to drop off my car?" Me, looking up then down into the car. "If you can't read the sign, I can't help you." "Fine, thanks for the help," and sped off. I'm sure if they told the gate manager, they would have no clue who I was because I don't work for the airport anyhow. The second person I think was just confused and was just asking a question and they did speed off straight away. But the first person was like, "Oh no, you're lying." It's like, okay, then I'm gonna be awkward. "Well, you're a lady looking through the men's section, so you must work here." So today I was at JCPenney with my mum and brother. I usually stay by my mum because I have social anxiety and GAD, so I don't like going off on my own in any public area. I walked to the men's section to look for some button-up shirts for myself. I'm female 16, wanting to try be by myself in public for once. A middle-aged Karen walked up to me, which immediately made my heart race. I was wearing black skinny jeans, a My Chemical Romance t-shirt with a black and pink striped long sleeve shirt underneath, which is nothing close to the JCPenney employee uniform. Karen will be Kay, I will be me. Karen walks over to me, speaking very quietly. "Do you work here?" "What?" I said, "Do you work here?" No? "Well, you obviously must work here. You're a lady who's looking through the men's clothes. Do you have a scanner?" "Holy, I told you I don't work here." I then run off to my mum, shaking quite a bit and a little bit embarrassed about the whole experience. I don't know why she would have mistaken a 16-year-old emo kid as an employee. Yeah, well, by that logic, she was also in the men's section, so does she work there as well? Wild one in the Swedish furniture shop. So this happened today. On my lunch hour, me and my colleague decided to nip to a well-known Swedish furniture shop. So to set the scene, I'm wearing a black suit, black top and a red lanyard. The employees at this store all wear yellow and blue, even the management. So I'm making my list with my paper and provided pencil while walking around. Suddenly, an older lady steps straight across me, stopping me in my tracks. "Excuse me, where are Swedish name bunk beds?" Well, being helpful, I just said, "Have you checked the computers?" She wasn't happy with that and demanded I show her. I would have thought the giveaway would have been my colleague absolutely laughing her head off next to me. Anyway, I was in a rush as I only had 1 hour to get everything done, so eventually I had to say the dreaded words, "I don't work here." "Well, why the heck are you wearing a lanyard in public then if you don't work here? You should be ashamed of yourself." At this point, I just walked off laughing. This made her even more cross. Yeah, it's true, you should only wear a lanyard in the privacy of your own home. If you wear it in public, you should be ashamed of yourself. I do work here, but not right now. So I'm a key holder at a pretty well-known gaming store, and to start this off, this store has a policy that if you aren't clocked in, you can't do any work, or you could get written up or fired. You can't go to the back, you can't get behind the counter, etc. I'm usually at the store 5 to 6 days a week, so most of the customers know me pretty well. On a day that I was off, I went up there to return a game I had bought but didn't work. My ASL, or assistant store leader, was the only one working, and when I walked in she told me she had to use the bathroom, really badly, and if I could just make sure customers knew she'd be right back while I looked at the other games I wanted to buy. I figured that was okay because I had a regular that I trusted to do that for me before. I was just hanging out looking at games/anime collectibles for maybe 30 seconds when in walked Karen. She walked up to the counter and immediately started huffing and looking around. I said, "Hey, sorry, the manager will be right back. She just had to..." And like most Karens, she cut me off. "Well, you work here, why can't you help me?" with the most condescending tone. Me with the dead customer service stare. "Oh, haha, I'm actually off today, so I can't help you unfortunately, due to company policy. I was just letting my manager get a quick bathroom break. She'll be right back, I promise." I think at this point her eye actually started to twitch. "I'm looking for a game for my son. Can you tell me if you have it?" I can guess, but I can't tell you for sure. When my manager gets back, she can check the inventory for you." I was getting kind of nervous at this point. You know, when someone's about to start yelling and you can just tell, that was this moment. At this point, my manager came out. Let's call her R. "Thank you, OP, and so sorry to you, ma'am. How can I help you?" I'm very frustrated with your employee. She couldn't help me, flat out refused to help me. I want something done now. She was nearly yelling. I sighed and looked at my manager and just shrugged and went back to the Xbox section to grab the game I wanted. She proceeded to follow me, I guess because my inability to do what she wanted ruined her whole entire day. She asked me my name and I gave it to her with a smile. She threatened to complain to corporate and I told her to go right ahead because I wasn't breaking any policies, so I wasn't getting in trouble. My manager eventually told her she needed to calm down, and she explained everything I had already said, that I wasn't allowed behind the counter or to look at the computers for inventory. Karen just huffed and did what she needed and left. What happened afterwards was me and R talking bad about what had just happened for a while. Don't be the person retail workers talk bad about, because we will absolutely remember you and we will laugh. That woman was on a mission to find someone. She just storms right in there and is like, why is there no one waiting for me? He's like, okay, some people need breaks, alright? Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching and I will see you very soon.